In this video, we're going to talk about changing the behavior of a spiritual exercise from actively praying to actively resting in trust. In the previous video, we talked about how sometimes we feel we can get caught in the rut of praying over and over again, asking God to grant the same prayer. And each day that God doesn't seem to answer our prayer feels like the weight of rejection. Yet God uses that weight to increase the strength of our faith. Spiritual exercises aren't too different from physical exercises. With both, we need rest. A professional runner shouldn't run marathons every day. The muscles of a professional weightlifter need time to rest and recuperate. Similarly, in our spiritual exercises of asking God every day to grant the same prayer, allowing time for rest might be beneficial. Not a rest from God, but a rest from a particular behavior. We must always participate in God's interactions with us. Sometimes this means being as active as the Son of God, who imitated his Father, who was always at work. But other times, being active in love also means being actively receptive. A lover is nothing without a beloved. A giver is nothing without a receiver. It's difficult for parents to give a gift to a child if that child is running around. It's best to give a child a gift when that child is sitting and receptive. In a similar way, being actively still, actively restful, is a wonderful way of receiving God's grace. God's response to our prayers can be like the dew on the grass. As He clothes the grass of the fields, God also responds to our prayers, often in ways we don't see, not until the miracle has already happened. For me, sometimes, resting in trust also means being like the grass, being still, turning off the phone, turning off the television, the internet, the computer, everything, anything that would make me get up and go. Just being still and knowing that God is God. Just as there's a time for going to bed and a time for rising, just as there was a time for the Son of God to enter into the tomb and to rise from the tomb 3 days later, there is also a time for activeness with God and a time for stillness in God. Yet both are active, both are participative. Sometimes we need to walk with Christ, and sometimes we need to let Christ carry us. In the same way that whoever does a work of kindness for the least brother or sister also does that work of kindness for Christ. Whoever receives a work of kindness from the least brother or sister also receives that work of kindness from Christ. Whoever loves must first have received love to love with. Whoever gives bread to the hungry must first have hungered for and must have received the bread that comes down from heaven. Whoever gives water to the thirsty must first have thirsted for and have received the living water. Whoever gives clothes to the naked must first have received a garment of salvation and a robe of righteousness. God comforts us in everything, from affection to affliction, so that we might comfort those who need affection as well as those who are feeling afflicted. In a previous video, I encouraged all of you to keep praying even though it doesn't seem like God is answering your prayer. I still encourage you, keep praying. But now, if you're feeling as though God isn't hearing your prayer, if you feel forgotten or abandoned by God, perhaps what's needed from the behavior of your spiritual exercise is a rest. If you've been spending the day begging God, please grant my prayer, please grant my prayer, change the behavior, rest in trust, and spend the whole day saying, I trust in you, I trust in you, I trust in you. There are many ways to be still and know that God is God. Trust can be a good bed to rest on. Let's talk more in another video about participating in God's active love. So please subscribe to this channel to view the next video soon. Pray for me as I pray for you.